Good afternoon. One excited boy. First time camping for about a month. It's been too long. But yes, out this weekend. And because I haven't been out for a long time and I got slightly overexcited, I've got a massive bag with so much stuff crammed in it. It was one of them situations going through my kit. It was like, oh, I'll use that, and oh, I'll use that. Before I know it, hey, I'm up around 20 kilos. Never mind. I'm looking forward to this one. Right, just walking in towards camp. As you can see, we've got a lovely show of bluebells. Smells bloody gorgeous. It really does. Same old camping spot. Well, purely because we love it here. Got Mark with me. He's just setting his stuff up there. Afternoon, Mark.
Afternoon. Afternoon, Squire.
Afternoon, Squire. Not too sure where we're going to set up yet. We're both ground dwelling today, but there's a flat spot over there. There's a flat spot sort of behind my bag there. One over there, so it doesn't matter too much. We've only just got here, so we've still got to work things out. Right, today, as you can see, I'm going with the DD teepee, little pyramid tent. Had it for a while. This is the first time I've actually camped in it. One thing that has become apparent straight away, at 6 foot, I'm about on the limit, I think, to be comfortable, of what's in there. If I've tried getting in there and with my feet just touching one side, my head's almost brushing the other side. So it's tight. If you're smaller than 6 foot, no issue. Any bigger, you might have fun and games. From the door opening section straight through the centre is the longest part of it, which is where I would ideally like to be. But I've just tried it out and the ground's not very level there. Can I be bothered to unpeg it and move it all? No, not really. So I've spun my mat to the sort of like the flattest location, so I'm sort of diagonal across it. Won't be a problem. Of course, you could not do that if you used a pole in the centre like it's designed, which is why I've got it up on a ridgeline instead. Loads more room. Inside we have the UL80 sleep mat. Just about to see that underneath there. On top of my plastic ground sheet to try and give it a bit of protection. Lovely sleep mat. I still don't trust it. DD Dura 2. It's, you know, it's going to be warm enough I think for this, but to be on the safe side, I've got my DD self-inflating sort of foam mat inside the bag. Of course the UL80 has got no insulation in it whatsoever, so that'll be my little bit of insulation. It's not going to be terribly cold tonight. I think it's going to go down to about 6. That should be more than enough, that combination. And hey, if the worst comes to worst, I can always put my jacket on and get back in. But let's hope that don't happen. Right up in the top there, got my little flex tail pump that I use for blowing up the UL80. It's also got a very good lantern built into it. So that's hung up on the little loop in the middle. I'll take some photos later with that on. It's amazing how bright that is for such a little thing. I like the fact that it's dual purpose too. It's a pump and a light. You haven't got to carry two things. Right, let's have a quick comparison. There's my DD pyramid. And as I said, I've had to go sort of diagonal across it to fit my mat. Sleeping bag in there. Good design, not really big enough. Now let's have a wander over here. Let me come around this side to start with because of the sun. Now Mark's made the same tent essentially, but out of a standard 3x3 tarp. And you can see straight away it's longer from front to back. And I don't know quite how well this will film with the sunshine, but if you see in there, look, he's got his sleeping bag down there, full length like mine. But there's space, you could have a second person, no problem at all, there. It's roughly the same height, much longer. It's roughly the same weight, but a DD tarp now is, what, about 40 pounds, I think, roughly. Where I think that tent is like 80 or 90. So if you can put in the little bit of extra time and effort for the same weight and half the price, you can make a bigger shelter. And of course you can make any other shelter you want out of that, where you're stuck with the tent in its one shape. So yeah, to my mind, that's probably a better option. Can't believe how much it's greened up in here. I've only been away a month, and it's like we've sort of switched from winter to summer. Much more cover, much greener, much more how I like it, to be honest. Still quite a few bluebells about, although they've been out a long time. They're getting past their best now. That's just looking up into camp there in the sunshine. As you probably saw there, Mark's got a new toy, one of them hand chainsaws, and we took out that old dead standing silver birch in a matter of a couple of minutes or so, and it's a reasonable thickness. I'll show you. That worked quite well, that handsaw, and it just means we've got some more firewood for another camp. Time for a brew. While I think about it, a quick shout out to Gary of the Tree Climbers Cartel. We had a bit of an online trade the other day. I made him a tinder pouch, and he made me a paracord bracelet. Always up for a bit of trade. Thanks, Gary. Bit of a long range shot there of the little DD tent. It's blended in quite nicely, even though it's in the sun, and I've got the door open, so it's not showing camouflage completely. Let's see if I can zoom you in. That does work well, you know, that multicam, in almost every conditions, apart from midwinter. It's a bit too green for midwinter, but apart from that, it's pretty good. I don't think this is going to be quite big enough or man enough, but we'll have a crack. Oh, yeah. Some little firelight in pieces. That's processed a bit of kindling, get us going. A few logs as well. Got plenty more logs, but that should be enough for now to start us off later on. on. Right, I thought it was about time I just did a quick update on a piece of kit. The Lansky World Legal. I've had this about 3 years now, I suppose. And I'll start straight off with the one single negative that I personally had. And that was the pocket clip. Now, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you like a pocket clip, no problem at all. Personally, I don't like them. So, as you can see, the slots here, where you had options where you could fit them. It's only a little Allen bolt. I just removed the pocket clip and it's just made a nice slim knife. I say nothing wrong with the clip, it's just not my sort of thing. As a knife, as I'm sure you're aware, in the UK the rules are quite strict on knives, and this falls within the UK law. It's probably one of the beefiest things you can sort of legitimately carry. If you haven't seen it, it's non-locking, very, very strong back spring. It's got a 90-degree stop, snap full open, and it is such a strong spring. Once it's open, it's almost like using a fixed blade. The blade is less than 3 inches, so it makes it UK legal. Now, I've used this for, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 years now, without a single fault. I've abused it. I've used it really, really hard. Even as much as for like a wood burning stove, a little one for brewing up your tea and that sort of thing. I've done all the wood prep with this. I know it's, you know, it's not a fixed blade. I've battened wood with it, and I've battened on the blade, and I've also smacked it on the back here. No problems whatsoever. 3 years later, whatever, no movement whatsoever in the joints. It all folds as per normal, and I don't know whether I can get the angle quite right. As you can probably see there, the blade is still lovely and central, so no movement in it whatsoever. 3 years on of using it quite hard. It is sharp. Over that length of time, I've probably only sharpened it twice, maybe 3 times, and even then just a very light amount on the fine edge there. It doesn't really dull very quick. It holds its edge very well. I'm not sure what steel it is, but it does the job. So yeah, that's just a quick update on the Lansky for a pocket knife that's UK legal. If you want something that does heavy work, I think this is where it is, to be honest. It's quite slim, it's no big deal in the pocket. It's got a bit of weight to it, but not excessive. The way they've cut out there fits nicely in the hand. It is comfortable for a slim knife. Quite often slim ones aren't, but this is pretty good. All in all, I'm still rating it, for the sake of, I think they're about £20, something like that, maybe 25 now, I don't know. I would still say it is worth it. It's a really good, reliable folding knife. spicy sausages for tonight's tea. They should be nice. They've been stinking out the fridge for the last day or so. Sausage sandwich. It just sort of like belongs with camping somehow. That and bacon. I think I've gone a bit heavy on the brown sauce. Never mind, still going to be good. Look what we can see. Lights have appeared. We are not alone in the woods. We have neighbours.
Noisy ones.
Yeah, noisy neighbours, yeah. Trouble is, the other side of the ditch is a different landowner, and I think that's the people who actually have got the house over there. So we can hardly tell them to go bugger off. But I just hope it's not too noisy.
It's like a bloody main road, Leo.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, they're the ones probably responsible for that party last summer, do you remember? Kept us awake all bloody night. But yes, not really what you want to see when you're in the middle of nowhere. One hour later, and it's all quiet on the Western Front. It looks like our neighbours have buggered off. Good job too. Well, it's time for bed after a very pleasant evening. And packing my stuff away in here, I suddenly had a thought to gain a bit of headroom here, because it's tight on the slope. You can probably just see in shot here the leg of my chair. I've got my chair upside down, so two of the feet are sort of pushing that side out a little bit. Not tight, but enough to push it out a bit. I've got my bag the other side against it. Between the two, they've opened up this space. Not a lot, another 6 or 8 inches, just to, you know, stop it brushing on your head in the night. It's going to be more pleasant. Right, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. You join us at coffee time. Not a bad night, not bad at all. We went to bed about 10:30ish, and I woke up, I think it was about 5:30, surprisingly, because I needed a wee. Lots of birdsong, really loud they were about 5:30. And then got back in and did a bit more napping until about 6:30, 6:45, got up, because it was time for coffee. So yeah, not a bad night. Poor old Mark, he didn't sleep very well.
No, bloody didn't.
For no apparent reason. He was warm enough and comfortable and everything else, just didn't sleep very well. But that happens sometimes. But yeah, it's a nice morning, bit cloudy, bit chilly, but it's dry. So, result. All packed and ready to go. Mark's just doing his final shots of his packing and that sort of thing. I can't bugger off because he's borrowing my tripod, so I've got to wait for him. Bloody Hollywood. He takes so long, but his videos are good. So, you know, you can tell he takes his time. Unlike me, who just sort of like, you know, just gets on with it. But it's been a really nice weekend. It's the first time in a month. I've really missed it. But no, it was nice. Nice, dry, nice morning. Simple pack down. Just what I needed. So, thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you on another camping video soon. Cheers, guys.